you're not using your brokerage account right when it comes to retirement. It's the most underutilized account in retirement if you do it correctly. If we do it right, it's gonna walk and talk and act like a Roth IRA, at least for federal tax purposes. The IRS has a couple different tax brackets that they work off of. The first one's your normal income tax bracket. That's the one that everybody thinks about, right? When they say they're in the 22 or the 12% bracket, they're referring to that bracket. Your IRAs and your 401ks are gonna work on that bracket. If you take money out of your IRA or your 401k, it's taxed at those income tax bracket levels. Now, your brokerage account is taxed at capital gains tax rates, which can be a huge advantage to you if used correctly. And here's the reason why. The tax brackets, married, filing jointly, go from $0, you can go from $0 to $98,900, at least when I'm recording this video. And the rate for capital gains on that is a big old zero, right? So the way these accounts work is that you have a thing called cost basis inside of these brokerage accounts. So let's pretend that you have $100,000 that you have put into this brokerage account over however many years. And that's money you've already paid tax on. That's your cost basis. But now let's pretend that account has grown to $200,000 and there's a $100,000 gain in there, and you think, man, if I pull that money out, I'm gonna have to pay 15% in taxes, capital gains taxes, and man, I don't want to do that. But I would challenge you, is there a way that we can organize your income to get it on your tax return to where your taxable income is less than that $98,900 threshold, where we pay 0% in federal capital gains tax? Now, every state's taxed differently. Talk to your CPA, your financial advisor, of course, when it comes to this. But if we utilize the right strategies at the right time, we can get money out of that brokerage account without paying taxes. Now, obviously there's a lot of detail here. We've put together what we're calling our toolkit, which you can grab there in the description below. And there's more information in there than just what we're talking about today. But inside that toolkit, kind of in one of those drawers of the toolkit, is tax planning, and that's what I'm talking about. So let's think about this. If we can get dollars out of that brokerage account without having to pay capital gains tax, if our taxable income is under $98,900, how do we do that? Well, everybody's situations is a little different. And frankly, maybe you make a lot of money and you have a lot of assets and you're never going to get below that $98,900 limit, but it's easier to do than you think. So there's a couple different strategies. The first strategy is if I have a whole bunch of money inside of an IRA or a 401k, we could start to spend through that first. Now that's going to be taxable. You're going to pay taxes on your normal income bracket, and that's going to push you above that $98,900 limit, obviously assuming you're taking enough money out. So if you were to take money out of your brokerage account, you'd have to pay capital gains tax. Well, what if instead we worked through that IRA first and spent that money first, and then at some point we can stop taking money out of that IRA, or we run that IRA dry, and we can start taking money out of that brokerage account, and your income is going to be under that $98,900 mark, and we can get those capital gains out tax free. We can also flip that over, right? And we can say we're gonna ignore the IRAs and the 401ks, and we're gonna start taking money out of the brokerage account first before that IRA increases our income, and we're gonna get those gains out early before our income gets above that $98,900 mark, and not have to pay capital gains tax at that point. And so that's like the 30,000 foot overview on how to get money out of that brokerage account without having to pay taxes. But what are the other advantages that the brokerage account has? Well, flexibility is one of them. Nobody's gonna tell you when you have to take money out of that account or how you have to take money out of the account. So you can mold and shape your income tax return with your IRA and with your brokerage account to get those dollars out of the brokerage account without paying taxes. The other thing that is huge, what they call a step up in basis. So to pass those dollars to the next generation in the best way possible, this brokerage account is a really good way to do it. So your brokerage account is a very powerful tool when it comes to retirement and how to get money out tax free. We need to put strategy into what accounts we're pulling from and when, And that can really save you a lot in taxes over the rest of your life. Hey, don't forget to share this video out to folks that are like you and potentially trying to retire early, but also you can continue to watch videos that we've created. You can just check out the next one right here, and we'll see you in it.